addiction to the book should be the need of the hour.
Amazing.
It brings in a great essence actually.
You really don't feel like stopping till you finish the book.
Such a book requires an immense clarity of thought and prudence, immense research, a narrative craftsmanship. It is an interdisciplinary book. There are books like Whispers of the Soil, which make us to reflect, pause and think about the forces that underlie the world.
75 such events in the book and 100 leadership insights.
It's a celebration of stories, a celebration of curiosity, a celebration of courage, and above all, a celebration of voice that chose to be heard. On behalf of Spark Igniting Minds, Publications and Captain Sahana Sundar, I, Chirant Kumar, welcome all our distinguished guests, authors, readers, students, well-wishers, and members of the literary community.
Good morning, everyone. It gives me immense pleasure and pride to introduce a book that is very close to my heart, Whispers of the Soil, How Resources, Power and People Shape the Destiny of Nations, written by my mother, Captain Sahana Sundar. When we hear words like oil, water, trade routes, wars, sports, minerals or geography, many of us think these subjects belong only to politicians, diplomats, economists or the military. But this book shows us something much deeper. It shows us that beneath every conflict, every alliance, every rise and fall of nations, there is a story hidden beneath in the soil. The soil carries oil beneath Saudi Arabia, water through the Nile, food through fertile lands, minerals beneath mountains, and trade through ports and corridors. But resources alone do not decide the future of nations. People do, leaders do, institutions do. Through fascinating stories that travel through continents and decades, this book takes us from the historic meeting between Roosevelt and Ibn Saud aboard the USS Quincy to the nationalization of the Suez Canal, the oil shocks of the 1970s, the rise of China's Belt and Road Initiative, the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, the global financial crisis, the Habantota port in Sri Lanka, the Dust Bowl in America, and the rebuilding of Japan, Vietnam, Bangladesh and Rwanda. And finally, to the future challenges of climate, technology, water, energy and AI. Like this, the book contains about 75 incidents and 100 plus leadership insights. What makes this book special is that it is not merely a book about geopolitics, it is a book about leadership. It asks important questions. Can leaders think beyond the next election? Can nations cooperate over shared resources? Can institutions outlast individuals? Can humanity learn from history instead of repeating it? As I watched my mother read, think, question and write this book, I realized that she was not merely studying history, she was searching for answers to one important question. What kind of leadership helps nation prosper and what kind of leadership leads them into crisis? The answer she discovered is reflected throughout this book. Today, as we gather to celebrate books, ideas and the power of knowledge, I invite you all to listen carefully to the whispers hidden beneath the surface of world events. Because sometimes the soil whispers long before the history shouts. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to present Whispers of the Soil by Captain Sahana Sundar. May I now request our distinguished chief guest to unveil the book.
Whispers. Huh? Whispers you, and that's the right.
So I'm very thankful to organizers of today's book launch. And 3 books have been launched. One is Story Through My Eyes, Unspoken Mysteries, and Whispers of the Soil. So my hearty congratulations to all the authors and the Spark Ignite publications and also all the lovers of the book. Addiction, although it is a bad word, addiction to the book should be the need of the hour. Addiction to the books should be the need of the hour. The Whispers of the Soil, or even mythological book. See, each one of these books will always tell some stories. They give lessons, their personal experiences, and one has to read both successful stories as well as failure stories also. See, successful stories give messages, the failure stories give lessons. So by reading such books, certainly it is going to motivate and inspire younger generation, because we are also, this book also envisages on leadership quality. Leader is one who inspires, who motivates. Leaders never complain about others. They never criticize others. So yes, to be a leader, intelligence is important. Intelligence, integrity, integration, involution, and that leads to your what is called innovation. Because 5 actually E's are very important for nation building. One is energy, second is education, third is economy, fourth is entrepreneurship, fifth is empathy. And these 5 E's are extremely important. These books are going to open the eyes of many readers, that will inspire, and I think you should book the books. Thank you very much.
May I now invite Padma Shri Dr. Prahlada Rama Rao to introduce the Whispers of the Soul. Please.
When I got the book from Sahana, I said, what books you? But I never see her as an author. I have seen her, I have seen her very far. Especially when she put the podcast, I saw her the way she enthusiastically she was asking questions. Made the video of my talk. And she's a good organizer. And I know that she's a captain in the NCC, so she's a very disciplined person. So she can, these 2 characteristics I knew. But I never thought she could write a book. That too, when I saw the book, amazing book. That you see, same Sahana I know, who is so simple and so such a deep knowledge she has shown, exhibited, and the leadership. How the leadership will attract the globe, not just within India. She talks about the European, Americans, although there are her friends and classmates and things like that. Very small. She talks, although the way she talks, you think she has met Napoleon. Some sort of a, the way she has understood the politics, the leadership. So she has brought the linkage between the geography, the people, and the leader. And how leaders can play a role, things make it totally different way she can. So this she has brought out very, very amazingly. And I think the current day politics, geopolitics, will demand that we should understand the geopolitics, the way the world is moving, especially we are talking about the resources of the world. What I am amazed is how she is able to talk about such things like geography, mineral wealth, everything. The Capt, Sahana, I am amazing. Hats off to. In fact, hats off to Sahana. More than she said, you 1 week read the book and try to see what you can do. But it's a very deep. I think one will take several months to understand the serious way she talked about the geopolitics. It's amazing. So, hats off to you, Sahana, and I'm sure many young people who are in the geopolitical sphere will have to read like a textbook, you have to understand. how the whole geopolitics have moved. And if I talk about some of the key sentences, here you are like lots of amazing. So I congratulate her for writing a book of that sort of a serious subject in a geopolitical situation. I congratulate her. I wanted to buy, she has given me a copy. But it is an amazing book and amazing lady, and she has shown one avatar of Sahana which I have never imagined. I hope maybe there will be more avatars with her.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, doctor. You can still go ahead and pick up the book. Because the book which is given to you by Captain Sahana, I'll pick up from there. Thank you so much.
So, first of all, I congratulate Prahlada Rama Rao for this wonderful book. Because when whole world is discussing about oil crisis, war and all other things, this book comes very timely. So, most interesting part of this book is we are connecting geographical resources, economic resources, political leadership, at the same time civilization. So this is very simple in the language, very complex in the thoughts. Very complex in the thoughts, it has to be understood, and I think everybody knows both economics and political science started from the same branch. After 2 centuries, political science became a different subject. It connects to different historical events. It happened in a different decades and brings in a same tone and brings in a great essence actually. I request everybody to read this book because it connects history to the modern world and you can understand the modern equations, modern news and this war phenomena through the historical aspects. So I once again am thankful Sahana madam for this opportunity and also reading this wonderful book. Thank you.
See, if you go through the book, basically it deals with how leadership, failures and success has taken place from the years. Which of the soil, basically soil means we are all part of soil, whether it is natural resources, water, air, trees, nature, ourselves. So we are all part of the soil. And basically how we use it, the resources of the soil, depends on what leaders we have at various levels. The leaders over the years in various countries either have been, successful because their thought process was positive. They were constructive. And we have destroyed the soil because many of the leaders were destructive in their, ideas or their nature or their thought process. If you read the book, you see political leadership, military leadership is one aspect. But when this political leadership thinks about the economic leadership, resource leadership, visionary leadership, then the results are positive. And that is what the requirement is as today. I feel that this book has come at an appropriate time when the whole world is facing leadership crisis. We have leadership crisis, we have things going on in Gulf countries. We have Ukraine and Russia war. You have Iran-Israel war. You have problems in our country. And there is required to be a leadership which is constructive, progressive, and result-oriented. So if you go through the book, you will find that it gives you an insight as to how we have to deal with various situations to make our nation a stronger one. The book gives a what has happened years back and what all things have gone wrong and what all leadership successes had taken place because of what leadership quality and where the leadership failed. What I want to say is that the book, if you read from page 1, you really don't feel like stopping. And the crux of the book is that we don't have to waste the resources which the God has given to us. We don't have to kill each other. We don't have to destroy each other's resources. We have to enjoy the fruits which the God has given to us. We have to use the resources for the benefit of the humanity. We have to think and exploit the resources with our constructive thought process, with our visionary leadership, with our progressive leadership. We have to work for the betterment of humanity by using the resources which the God has given us. So here come the whispers of the soil. The soil whispers in our ear, please make use of what God has given us. Please don't destroy. Don't destroy each other's resources. We are here to look for you. So this is the crux of the book. And once you start reading each line, you get a new lesson, a new leadership quality, and you really don't feel like stopping till you finish the book. I just end with a couplet which I just wrote today morning only on the book. So it reads like this. So, oh man, listen to the whispers of the soil. The Almighty has created the resources in plenty. We don't have to destroy, but use them for the sake of the humanity. Oh man, the God did not send us on the earth for death and destruction. Oh man, the God did not send us on the earth for the death and destruction, but to enjoy the fruits of its creations. Oh man, please, the creations of Almighty, let us not spoil. The creations of Almighty, let us not spoil. Please listen to the whispers of the soil. Please listen to the whispers of the soil. Please listen to the whispers of the soil. Thank you very much, Captain Sahana, for the opportunity given to me to address this August gathering. And I'm really grateful. And I feel very nice when I address such gatherings. Thank you very much, and very August gathering here. Thanks a lot, and salute of a military man to all of you. Thank you.
Inspiring thoughts. Now may I request Dr. Neha Chaturvedi to come on stage.
Currently, I'm pursuing my PhD in climate change and sustainability, and I've done my master's in international law. So I believe this book, from an international law perspective, or this book from an international law expert, will give a new insight as to how leaders, as to how resources, as to how geography intermingle with each other. The first thing is that when we talk about strategic alliances, when we talk about trade routes, when we talk about oil routes, the best part about the book is it is not presented as abstract entity. It is not presented as an abstract, isolated global phenomenon, but as something which is pertaining to humanity, as something which gives a humanity tone to it. This book has tried to humanize the concepts of all these particular things that I just mentioned. Now, the next part which I want to address of the book is, when we talk about variety of books, some books provoke us, some books inspire us, some books inform us, but then there are books like Whispers of the Soil, which make us to reflect, pause and think about the forces that underlie the world, the forces that underlie the nature. We are all so much caught up in the headlines that we forget that there are underlying forces that shape global affairs. There are underlying structures that shape global affairs. This book is about how nations try to balance geography, resources, leadership. From an international law perspective, I believe it is an interdisciplinary book because it merges history, economics, geopolitics, and of course, geography. Now, coming to the point wherein the author has tried to take us across various continents and decades, wherein we have been talking about Middle Eastern politics, we have been talking about strategic alliances, yet the book is not solely about nations. The book is about diplomacy, the book is about how you need to negotiate in times of uncertainty. It is about how you need to take a pause before deciding something. And it also talks about the responsibility that leaders carry towards the future generations. Such a book requires an immense clarity of thought and prudence of course. I would like to appreciate the author, Capt. Sundar, for the immense research that this book involves and a lot of hard work that has gone in writing this book. It has a narrative craftsmanship, it has a beautiful undertone, and there is this one line which symbolizes and echoes throughout the book, which is, resources are inert until the leadership picks them up. And to everyone here gathered today, I urge you all to read this book, to be informed citizens, to understand it critically, to engage with the book, not merely read the book, but engage with the book, to critically analyze it, to carry the conversations forward, and as it is rightly said, the soil is always whispering. It is for us to listen. Thank you so much.
Namaskara everyone. And I'm feeling so privileged to stand before you here to give my author speech. This book started with a curiosity because I was watching the international news and it started with curiosity. Why nations fall? Why nations rise? What is happening? Why there is conflict between nations? Why not peace? Why not coordination, cooperation? So this curiosity led me to do a deep research on the history of the nations. What were the crises that went throughout our world in different countries? Maybe in Korea, maybe in Syria, Iran, Israel. I started this book with an unwritten agreement that took place between Ibn Saud, that is Abdul Aziz, and Roosevelt, FDR. This meeting was so important because it controlled 80 years, almost 8 decades of the world's politics. So this was just an exchange between two countries of the oil security and the internal and external security of Saudi Arabia. And this was an unwritten agreement which had made, but presidents after presidents, they followed this, and there was a continuous supply of oil. So why leadership failed? If the leaders don't pay attention to the mindset of the people, to the civilization, to the sovereignty of the country, and if they pay attention only to the geography or only to the resources, then they fail. I have incited in my book several leadership insights, almost 100 leadership insights where leaders have failed, where leaders have succeeded. The leader should think 30 years ahead of his country, not for the next election. A leader should, when he thinks 30 years ahead, then only the world will be happy, then there will be peace, then there is cooperation. And what I learned is, as I kept on writing the book, it is not the political leader, it is the institutional leader who makes a difference. Because political leader, they take very short-term decisions that will not prove good for the country. when there is a resource. See, during our childhood times, we are taught to share our toys, isn't it? Do we share our toys with all our friends, with all our other children? But when it comes to the nations, we are very selfish. There's a difference between a popular leadership and a strategic leader, a powerful leader and a strategic leader. Leaders should have strategies, not power. Okay? So when I kept on, when I started the book with a curiosity, I ended it with a conviction, and I thought I wanted to completely understand what leadership is. Then when I came to the end of the story, I felt it is not the political leadership, it is the institutional leadership that matters. So, an institute, for example, our river sharing, Indus river sharing between India and Pakistan, the agreement which was made by Eugene Black. Okay, Eugene Black is a very great leader because the treaty that he made between India and Pakistan, sharing of rivers, it went on for almost 64 years. So that's how in my book I have kept on giving 75 such events in the book and 100 leadership insights. You can read this book, you will get a lot of insights, not about only India. I haven't seen incidents as isolated events, because there was a pattern throughout. In the leadership, you can see a pattern. Please read this book. Try to understand. Even if one person understands this book, really, I feel it is a success. And already Neha is there. Give a big applaud to Neha because she has understood my book in full spirit. Yeah, thank you so much. Why I have named this as Whispers of the Soil is because soil tells you so much, because soil is blood, soil is land, soil is again the scars which are left by the empires. So many empires have left scars on this soil, and it is also flourishing. So soil has got different meanings. I have used soil as a metaphor here. So those leaders who can read this Whispers of the Soil, they will be successful. Those who can't read, they get into conflict between nations. So that is the crux of this.